What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Patrick, aka Addicted to Combat, back for another recap and results for UFC on ABC3, UFC Long Island, UFC Yair Rodriguez capitalizing on the dislocated shoulder of Brian Ortega, getting that really anticlimactic end to a round one TKO victory over Brian Ortega. So that actually really cost me on the night. That was leading a couple of my parlays. So, I am minus 4.5 units on yesterday's card. I had to go back and rewatch those last night and this morning. I was, with the early start time of that card, it was like 11 a.m. Central Time where I live. So I was actually at a day drinking, hard seltzer type of festival with my girlfriend and her family. So unable to catch those fights, I was doing some day drinking instead. But I caught all the fights. It was actually a really fun card altogether. A lot of cool finishes. And underdog central last night. I mean, it was, I think 7 underdogs came through, I want to say. And that probably either made a lot of people rich in the UFC betting community or, in my case, it made me go negative. So we're going through, let me look. Yeah, Dustin Stoltzfus closed as an underdog. That's 1. Dustin Jacoby closed as an underdog. That's 2. Who we got here? Ricky Simone, 3. Lauren Murphy, 4. Shane Burgos, Matt Schnell is 5. Li Jingliang, 6, and Yair Rodriguez, 7 underdogs in one night in 7 fights. That's just absolutely crazy. I went 6-6 on official predictions and picks on this card, and I had 3 fighters on the money line. Let me just go over my best bets and props results, which is usually my slate of all of my betting action. Shane Burgos, I paid 1.9 units to win 1. That cashed. Algio, 1.75 units to win 1. That cashed. The Da Un Jung, I got at that nice juicy underdog price of plus 120. I put a unit to win 1.2. That did not cash. That was definitely the most contested back and forth. Half people were on Jacoby, half people were on Jung. Everybody was very convicted in their side, and I came out on the worst end of that. Da Un Jung definitely came out strong, finding his mark with that sniper right hand of his, but eventually got dropped. And anybody who lost money is probably going to call that an early stoppage. I thought it was pretty justified. There might have been a couple follow-up shots from Jacoby, but that definitely would have sealed the deal and ended that fight in round 1. So a nice finish for Jacoby, but on the money lines, I went minus 1 unit altogether. Going to some of the props, I had Jack Shore by decision at plus 115. Certainly lost a unit on that. I had Da Un Jung and Jacoby fight goes to decision, which I thought would be my insurance policy for betting Da Un Jung. Certainly was not. Ended in round 1. Lost 1 unit there. I came back with a nice prediction on Li Jingliang knocking out Muslim Salikov. That was a take I didn't see many people have, but I found a plus 100 number on Li Jingliang. Inside the distance, scorecards equals no action. So if that would have become that grappling fest with Muslim Salikov winning over 3 rounds, would have gotten my money back, but I had 1 unit. Wish I would have loaded up more on that one, but I had 1 unit on inside the distance, scorecards no action for 1 unit in return at plus 100. I did have a quarter unit sprinkle on Lauren Murphy by split decision. She got a clear unanimous decision, so lost 0.25 units there. I also had a quarter unit bet on Li Jingliang by round 1 KO at plus 900. The son of a bitch got it done in round 2, so we did not make up our money there. 0.25 units lost on that. And then what really cost me now, we're pretty much even with all of that stuff, but what cost me were the parlays. Of course, like I said, low risk, high return parlays, but I was 4 units deep on a 2, 4, and 6 leg parlay. Shane Burgos and Ortega would have been what made the money, right? 2 units on those 2. Got the Burgos, squeaked out that close Burgos fight over Charles Jourdain, but lost on the unfortunate injury for Brian Ortega. But let's be honest, Yair was really killing him on the feet. Who knows how that fight could have been extended out if we got 4 more rounds of it, but, I'm not, crying robbery or bad luck or anything like that. Clearly round 1 would have been scored for Yair Rodriguez either way. So lost that, and then all the parlays came crumpling down. So I had Burgos, Ortega, Lemos, Algio. Both of those 2 came through. Shore and Da Un Jung. So that was 2 units on the top, and then 1 units on each of the 4 and 6 leg parlay. Minus 4 units overall. So you add all that up, minus 4.5 units. Not a great showing. As I said, 6-6 on picks. I think I went 6-6 on picks on the other sketchy card, the Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. Fortunately for us, all of the 6 that I chose in that card were where we had our betting action, the most confident picks. These didn't really come through that much, Burgos was a lot closer than I thought against Jourdain, although we got that one. The Algio, a clear walkover over Herbert Burns. Jack Shore getting dropped by the power of Ricky Simone in round 2. That was just a bad beat there, although I knew it was a close fight. So, you can't be afraid to pull the trigger on these underdogs, even if you start thinking there's too many. I'm usually one where, you watch these UFC cards, a card with between, like 12 and 14 fights. Usually, generally speaking, there's about like 2 to 4 underdogs that are going to come through either way. You just got to pick and choose as to which those ones are. This one, like I said, 12 fights, 7 underdogs came through on this card. So if you're just somebody who's getting the value boys, if you're just looking for mispriced lines, fights that you think are 50-50, you pick the underdog just automatically. I bet that way sometimes if it's a very close fight, but if I watch the tape and I see a clear path to victory for a fighter, I'm true to that, and I'll pay the juice on that fighter. So this time it did not work out. 7 underdogs came through. So if you're just betting underdogs, if you just blindly threw your dart and your money at all of the underdogs, you probably came up money on this card, and that's not a bad way to bet sometimes. So just an underdog heavy card, very entertaining fight card though altogether. I was talking to my boy Mike at Couch Warrior Pod. Go follow him. He attended this live like many of the East Coast YouTubers did. It was a fun fight card, but he mentioned how anticlimactic those injuries are in the main event, and that's true. It reminds me, back in the day, I went and saw Anderson Silva fight Patrick Cote. Something similar happened to Cote, where he just stepped backwards funny during a stand-up exchange, blew out his knee, and that was like a round 4 TKO win for Silva. So it's always a weird, not really quite applause in the crowd, not booing, just a weird silence over the crowd during the main event when those TKOs for injury take place. So, where does Yair go from here? I mean, I think he probably should get a title shot off of it. Why not? You got not many people to challenge Volkanovski that haven't fought him before. Give Yair his shot. He's a crafty striker. He can make, even a strange fighter could make things difficult for even the greatest of all time in Volkanovski. That'll buy some time before, the lightweight divisions open up for a potential super fight up there between the champion at 155 and the champion at 145. So I like that a lot. As a bettor, I have certain things I want to happen to line my pockets with the bookies' money. But then as a fan and like somebody who likes, has a sort of OCD with the rankings, I'm actually glad that Yair came out the winner of this fight because, like I said, I want to shake things up with some new matchups at that weight class for the title. So moving on to UFC London next week. I've already done a lot of tape study for this card, especially that Blades and Aspinall fight. Very interesting fight to bet on, in my opinion. I've got some strong convictions on that one already, so I will soon be dropping that full card breakdown in the next day or two for UFC London. So I want to get that content out early, start getting on some moving money lines, and make back this minus 4.5 unit hold that we just suffered last night. So thanks for all the constant support and love, you guys. I'm so glad this channel is growing, almost at 200 subscribers. So we're going to keep going. I've got a lot of good ideas for new content for this channel to spice things up. I'm thinking of turning my best bets and props video that I do on like Wednesday or Thursday, that shorter form 10-minute video. I want to extend that, make that a live stream, and start rotating in some, some prominent figures in the UFC gambling community. I made a lot of good friends, and a lot of people I know would love to come on and break down these fights with me. Closer to the end of the week, and we can get some, not just my opinion and my talking head on here, but we get a couple other contrasting views of very sharp bettors. So stay tuned for those changes. A lot of fun content coming to Addicted to Combat. So thanks for rocking with me, you guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know in the comments how you managed to do on Ortega versus Rodriguez, and I will talk to you guys next time. Cheers.